Ragnaros is coming back. Again, how many times do we gotta kill this guy? He has to be the most killed boss in WoW history at this point. Anyways, let's see what's going on here. Evidently, Ragnaros is coming back for 10.1.7. Let's see what's going on.
Ragnaros appeared in the initial stages of Dragonflight in that time travel scenario. However, right now in 10.1.7, we are data mining his followers coming back for the first time ever since Cataclysm. These followers, together with Ragnaros, were working with the old gods back in the day to try to burn down one of the world trees on Azeroth. Now in 10.2, we are getting hints of an elemental dragonfly rock attempting to burn the new Night Elven world tree Yggdrasil, and of course, these guys are coming.
I mean, it's just, this is a Pyro's fucking fantasy at this point. We're just, every time a world tree spawns, it gets burned. By the way, is there something phallic looking about this thing? I don't know. I don't know, it's the first time I ever noticed it, eh? Okay.
Back. Things get even more interesting as the good elemental lore that we picked back in Legion is missing, and back in BFA, a cult already attempted to resurrect Ragnaros once. As far as we know, Iridikron is elemental but working with the old gods, and that is the exact same affiliation that Ragnaros had. Are we going to see the Fire Lord coming back in Dragonflight?
I don't know.
If you guys want to buy Total War, Elder Scrolls,
they did recently add Ragnaros' shoulders into the game, so you could get those. But I feel like between Time Walking, Firelands, and just regular Ragnaros, and then this right now, we've killed this guy 100 times.
I'm pretty sure all of you already know that 10.2 is almost certainly going to be about the Emerald Dream, the new World 3, the Green Dragonflight. This is hardly even speculation anymore. I mean, it is literally just one step before being officially confirmed by Blizzard. We've literally had Blizzard months ago saying that 10.1 is about the Black Dragonflight. Then we'll get a story about the Bronze Dragonflight, which was literally 10.1.5. And that after that, we'll be talking about the Greens. Then we literally got a cinematic that talks about Firak burning the new World 3 Yggdrasil that apparently just got a name, and that is what was planted by Tyrande around the start of the expansion. Now, if that is not enough to convince you, we've literally data mined quest text backgrounds a few weeks back that is called the Emerald Dream, and it has the background of obviously something thematically related to this. I mean, it's quite literally called Quest Background Dragonflight Emerald Dream. So I really don't think you need any more proof. I mean, the next step down the line is Blizzard just coming out and saying, yeah, we're going into the Emerald Dream in 10.2. However, this is
we also know now we're getting the, you know, the dream surges, wet dream surges, whatever you want to call them. Those are coming into the game too. Those are like the world events that are going to be hitting. We just talked about them a little bit ago. So yeah, it's definitely Emerald Dream. There's no secret to that anymore. That's what's going to happen in the next patch.
Only really the beginning.
September 5th, by the way, that shit goes live.
Just so much more information, and it is super interesting. And I would say a bit of an unexpected turn, as we could be seeing no one other than our beloved evil Fire Lord Ragnaros, one of the most iconic characters
boss
in pretty much all of WoW history.
Ragnaros
is, in a way, sort of like a second Lich King, because even people that are not familiar with WoW might have heard about Ragnaros, or have at least seen him, as he really is that popular. Now, why I'm saying this, that he may be coming back, is because his followers were just discovered in the new patch, and not only that, but the way his story has been set up these past few years was obviously a build-up for something that is about to happen. They have been doing this for multiple expansions all the way since Cataclysm, and this is what I mean. Ragnaros is one of the oldest beings on Azeroth, almost certainly older than the Primal Incarnates in Firak, and he used to rule Azeroth until the old gods, the Black Empire, came in, conquered him, and then
believe it or not, the elementals and the old gods got a beef. They were fighting since the very beginning. They were like the original overlords of Azeroth, and then these old gods showed up when hentai tentacles on them and just destroyed them. There was a whole all-out war. If you remember the opening quest line that we kind of went through in Dragonflight, where we go back and we see N'Zoth and the fucking all that shit, they were fighting elementals. So he definitely plays a role here, but whether or not he comes back, I don't know. And is he still skipping leg day? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered.
Turned him to their side. Then Ragnaros was imprisoned by the Titans keep this a little bit in mind, because right now it is open season on getting revenge on the Titans for their past transgressions. I mean, everyone is just waiting in line. Then he was revived by the dwarves, and ultimately in Cataclysm he decided to make a pact with the old gods, essentially to bring the Hour of Twilight, and he also made a pact with Deathwing, who at the time was their main guy, the main guy of the old gods. Right now their main guy is obviously Ridicron, but the goal is still pretty much the same when you think about it. I mean, when you look at what is currently happening with Ridicron, it really seems like Cataclysm 2.0. Now, an interesting thing to note, you may be thinking, Ragnaros, isn't Ragnaros dead? I mean, didn't we kill him? And you're sort of half right on that. However, Blizzard has purposefully kept this extremely vague, and they have really been setting up the story for his return. Back at the end of BFA, a bunch of Dark Iron Dwarves, known as the Cult of Ragnaros, have been trying to bring him back to life, and it was stated that it wasn't certain if
I suppose an elemental like Overlord is never really dead when his element still exists. You can think about it that way. As long as there's lava, you might be able to get him back. I don't see why they couldn't bring him back. I'm just like, Jesus, man, how many times do we got to kill this guy?
Impossible, but they literally got a hold of his remains, and we kind of stopped him with an uncertain outcome. This really wasn't related to much that was going on at the time in BFA. However, this next setup is actually the interesting part, and it happened prior to BFA, which is honestly why I think all this stuff is relevant. So in Legion, as you may know, with the Burning Age invasion, since Ragnaros was defeated, a new Fire Lord was needed, and we kind of needed the elementals to get a new lord so that they can help us defeat the demons, and we influenced them in getting Smolderon as the new lord, which for the first time was actually a benevolent lord, or at least as benevolent as a fire lord can get, and we really interfered as we literally defeated his rival. However, then, a little bit later, we learned that he has apparently been missing, and apparently only time will tell what will happen. And since then, we have not gotten any status updates, so it is very likely that the elementals have been leaderless, or may have been seeking to get an actual Fire Lord, and that is Ragnaros, that wasn't put in by the mortals. Now, all this brings us to Dragonflight right now, and the crazy things we are data mining at the moment. First off, a little bit unrelated, but also quite related. We literally saw
the quest line that I was talking about, where the elementals were fighting. We literally saw them fighting the old gods.
Ragnaros in that time travel scenario right at the start of the expansion, when we went back to the times of the Black Empire, which might have obviously been foreshadowing for his return. However, in 10.1.7 we are discovering his actual followers, the Druids of the Flame. There are a ton of armor sets, all these models. These really don't seem to be just a one-off random mob, but something bigger is being set up with so many variations. You may remember these guys, the Night Elven traitors, followers of Fandral Stackhelm, and the guys that were really keen on burning Nordrassil to the ground and almost managed to succeed. Well, guess what? We now got a new World 3, a Mirdrassil that an elemental dragon that was recently empowered is trying to burn down, and lo and behold, these guys are returning. So how likely is it that they might try to pick up on that ritual back from BFA to bring back Ragnaros so that he can finish the job? Iridikron and Ferak are obviously affiliated with the native elementals of Azeroth.
Yeah, I mean, they are, the primalists, they get their, they are elementalist, basically, dragons. So that maybe there's some relationship between Ferak and Ragnaros. That's possible.
As well as the old gods, and when you think about it, that is pretty much the exact same affiliation that Ragnaros had, elemental, that is also influenced by the old gods. Even more interestingly, the primalists, these guys that we've been fighting since the start, have been the most mysterious thing of this entire expansion. These are all seemingly night elves, Thorin,
that fucking night elf had like a build up, and then we shanked her. We beat the shit out of her. She was easy. She was like a questline boss.
Of this entire expansion, these are all seemingly night elves, Thorin, mortals that somehow managed to form this order without anyone noticing.
At least he became a raid boss.
Lot of power. I really think something is going on with this, and the Druids of the Flame being related or relevant to them. What is an even bigger bit of evidence is the fact that these guys, back in Cataclysm, were considered as a part of the Twilight Hammer, so obviously Old
Right.
God affiliated. Now we're getting Zalatat, Old God hints just all over the place. We got a ton of new Yogg-Saron hints, we got N'Zoth hints that are just everywhere, and we literally saw the visage of Zalatat in the mirror, confirming that she is indeed working with Iridicon. I mean, just take a look at the parallels between Ragnaros and Iridicon. One was imprisoned by Titan-affiliated dragons and kept in a prison for thousands of years. The other was imprisoned by the Titans and also kept in a prison for thousands of years, and both of them have claimed to be natives to Azeroth.
What's up with Blizzard and imprisoning characters for thousands of years? I mean, literally, Burning Crusade, the cinematic, Illidan's just talking about how he's been imprisoned for 10,000 years. There's something about prison lockup that Blizzard really loves in their lore.
That deserve to rule over the planet, as they are the strongest, they are the original elementals of Azeroth. However, let's get to the biggest
Stoic,
bit of
I agree. We
why
probably
this
will
happening,
soon.
And that is the fact that...
I mean, we obviously are going to get some elemental shit in 10.1.7 because those red, whatever, flame night elves, whatever the hell they're called, they are showing up in 10.1.7. So we are getting some Ragnaros lore. I just don't know if he himself is coming back.
Ragnaros is a really powerful
it's about time.
and a huge source of nostalgia for a lot of WoW players. Ragnaros is, to many, a synonym for WoW Classic. I mean, literally just Google WoW Classic, you'll find a picture of Ragnaros in the very first results. Since WoW has lost a ton of players since the peak, I mean, they're obviously looking to get these little nostalgia points to bring players back. I mean, this has been evident with the recent time travel hints and Illidan and Arthas making these small appearances in the time rifts. They did this with Arthas back in Shadowlands. I mean, pretty much the entire story was based on the Lich King. Unfortunately, they're doing that with the Old Gods, so honestly,
Bobby avoiding prison somehow?
Ragnaros would really be a good...
Bobby in prison for 10,000 years. He'd probably survive it. I definitely think he's immortal. He's immortal for sure. They setting up Rag to end like Arthas ended. 15 anima. Oh my god, no, please no. Yeah, the jailer's gonna come end him.
Point to pick. I think it would do them really
It's a
well
new
for
formula.
marketing if people heard that we will be fighting Ragnaros
Break old lore by converting him to anima.
in 10.2 and that he will be a boss once again, or not maybe even a boss. I mean, just him returning could get a lot of players interested in Dragonflight. Thank you for watching. Check out Yogg-Saron coming back by clicking on the screen, and check out my first Witcher video on the second channel. See you next time.
Good video. Good video. I mean, whether or not Ragnaros comes back, I think is still TBD. Definitely his followers are coming back. I just don't know if we're gonna resummon him again, just to butt fucking kill him. But and they just made his shoulders available in game from Firelands time walking. So I don't know. But he'll definitely have some relevance in the next patch.